item 1, apologies for absence.
Yes, Chairman, we have apologies from Councillors Farmer and Lineker, who are both attending the meeting elsewhere.
Are we happy to accept their apologies?
Yep.
Yes.
Item 2, declarations of interest.
Yes.
Does anyone want to declare?
I've read about the
Yep.
what is the first item, 42A.
Okay, yeah, 5192935.
Yeah.
It's a non-pecuniary.
Yes, non-pecuniary. No, the speaker tonight, namely they've got two objectors, Andrew Martin and Jeanette Martin. I know them both.
Okay. Very good. Anyone else declaration of interest? It's not too late as we go through. If you see an address, do speak up. Item 3, minutes of the last planning meeting. Is everyone happy for me to sign them as true record?
And then just sign the page, please. And initial of the page.
Yeah,
Yeah, statement.
Yeah, of the first.
2020.
2020. There we go.
Lovely, thank you very much.
Do we have, item 4, do we have any public questions in accordance with standing orders 22 and 23?
None this week, Chairman.
Do we have any, item 5, do we have any letters of objection?
We did receive 2 letters of objection in the week, which were forwarded by email to the committee.
Okay, everyone's happy we received them, yeah? Item 6 then, the bulk of the meeting, going through the application. I think everyone's realised we've got a public speaker, and as a courtesy to them, we will take page 17, reference 5/19/2935. We'll take this first. 42A West Common, 2 new dwellings with detached garages following the demolition of the existing dwelling, new access and associated landscaping at 42A West Common.
So, do I have to leave the room, which I've expected to? I will.
Good question. At district you do. I'm not sure whether what the case to say no.
You can stay.
Stay and not comment and not vote.
No, I mean,
Yes.
as I advised
Okay.
you this afternoon, you could comment, you could stay, it's entirely your choice.
And you can vote.
Okay. Okay. Well, I will stay, but I've said already I'm not going to comment and I'm not going to vote, so the others know that when I'm not speaking.
Okay, very good. So we have one public speaker, Mr. Andrew Martin, who's speaking against the application. Can we get a chair? Do you want to pull up a chair at the end of the table?
We'll manage that.
Sorry, we normally provide one there.
Right, okay.
Okay, so I'm going to set you've got 3 minutes. I will set my timer for 3 minutes, but if you're mid-sentence or just mid-paragraph, you can finish.
I think I've got it down to 4 minutes. I'm sure you'll have 4 minutes. Copy the
Okay, I'll have to, at the discretion of the chair, we'll allow 4 minutes
Thank you very much. That's
from when you start to speak.
Okay. Okay, so on the road down from the White Horse to the Silver Cup, there are several roads with old semi-detached properties, frontages of very distinct character, and a lot of other very individual properties. Several houses in the immediate vicinity of 42A have recently been refurbished in the past 2 years. 43, 43A, 44, 44A, Little Redcoat Manor, all within 20 to 30 metres. Very tastefully refurbished, in keeping with the general ambience of the area. The existing feel of the area, as I think you know, is very traditional, quite spacious. It's not an area of high-density building. And I feel very strongly that this application represents a considerable overdevelopment of the existing site. The existing cottage could be refurbished and or extended in a much more sympathetic way. The overall vision of the neighbourhood plan states a strong sense of the local community is treasured by local residents, natural environment, green spaces will be protected, including the common land. 42A West Common is in a conservation area, and as you know, the Council has a duty to pay special attention to the desirability of preserving or enhancing the character and appearance of that area. Proposals must have regard to the surroundings and the existing balance of buildings and landscape. It is deemed a conservation area precisely because of the very distinctive character and appearance of the area. It is recognised in the application densities in the surrounding area do tend to be quite low, but nothing as low as this site. That is factually incorrect. 43, West Common Limehouse, Leighton Priory, Redcote Manor, 42D West Common, all have lower densities, among others, and including the two properties that border 42A. 43A West Common, Lime Cottage, is a unique case. It was constructed around about 70 to 100 years ago. It's a little cottage. It was originally Gardeners Cottage. The application states that the two properties are effectively a mirror of each other. In this area, all of the properties are very individual. They're not built in mirror styles. Most of the properties in the immediate vicinity are set well back from the road. These are very close to the those that are very close to the road are the ones that were constructed around 100 years ago. They're cottages. The rows are cottages there. These two developments, including the garages, are going to be very visible and close to the road. They will have a negative impact on the street scene. I really do not believe that was intended by this neighbourhood plan. ESB 2 of the neighbourhood plan states that the height, scale and design of the developments must be considerate and make a positive contribution to the local character and heritage, maintaining and enhancing positive elements. The proposed development replaces a 1.5-storey cottage, 2 to 3 bedrooms, with two massive 5 and 7 bedroomed 3-storey buildings that simply tower over Lime Cottage, which has been there for 100 years, and a lot of the other properties. Plot 1, many of the windows will look into all of the rooms of Lime Cottage. That is not right. The height and scale of the development is not in any way considerate and makes a negative contribution to wider local character and heritage. It's not what was intended by this. In the housing objectives, HO 1, 2, 3, 4, it seems very clear to me that the housing objectives are quite simply not satisfied. The comment in the report that currently there is virtually no overlooking the site and the proposed design does not compromise the amenity and privacy of adjoining owners is simply not true. It is rather worse than not true, but I'll shut up. The neighbours and I, in relation to the common, we have looked after the common most weekends since I've been there. The applicant intends to put a drive through that common area. Many locals comment about the enjoyment they get from seeing that common area well kept. Pedestrians, cyclists and dogs go across it. It is part of the green access route into town. In conclusion, there's significant enjoyment for many people who walk across that little bit of area on a daily basis. It is for everybody's enjoyment. The existing entrance to 42A has been used for many years. I don't see why they can't continue to be used. The application says that the development does not diminish the openness of the site. It is clearly incorrect. So finally, I just say to you, in conclusion, the proposed development meets very few objectives of the neighbourhood plan, is contrary to most, it will have a significant negative impact on the conservation area and the neighbourhood amenity value. And I really, really hope that you agree with me. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
I'll do whatever you tell me to do.
Yeah, let's go. Take a seat. You're welcome, obviously, to stay for this, for as much of the meeting as you like. But whenever you
I'll
want to leave,
this
feel free.
and I will leave you in total peace.
Okay. Any thoughts?
Could I ask our public speaker a question quickly? Lime Cottage, which one is that in relation to the property? I've got on that map. I'm just trying to work out the sort of the proximities.
My spatial awareness is not brilliant.
I think Silvercup is that way.
I'm totally lost for a moment. Just give me a second.
Is this going to try and look along?
I think that's the house where the building is taking place.
This seems strange.
The one.
This is Lime Cottage.
Perfect.
This is Lime Cottage, and the
Yeah, the second
one of
plot
the
goes here.
one of the plot comes here.
Yeah.
This is 1 story,
Yeah.
and this is 3 story and 3 story, and this is 1.5 story.
That's where I thought it was, but I just thought I'd check. That would.
Yeah, so what we're saying there,
Yeah.
this is the 70 to 100 years old. I don't know. It's 1 story and it's got the windows mainly. This is a hedge. The windows are on this side. The windows are on this side, and you've got a property here that was refurbished a short while ago, and they were allowed. They wanted to go up to 2 stories, and they were told that they could only retain it at 1.5 stories. So that's this one here. It's basically the main floor, and then they weren't allowed to, understandably, go higher than 1.5 stories. That's 1.5, that's a lot.
Okay. Any comments? Councillors?
Sorry, I know that this does appear to be actually quite a significant development. Whilst they are big plots along that road, as you can see from the map, fitting 2 new properties of this size onto that one plot is quite a substantial use of that land. And again, whilst the individual properties, it seems to me, aren't necessarily bigger than some of the other properties on this road, in terms of relative size, anyway, in that case. I did take a walk along this road as well, and I don't think any of them go up to this height. I couldn't see one, but it's difficult to tell because they are quite a way back from the road. So this is quite a significant. It is indeed quite a significant change. Firstly, in terms of the relative density, and in terms of the height, and on the proximity to the road. So it would have, in my view, a significant impact on what is actually a very, very pleasant street scene indeed. I mean, you'd almost think you were out in the country, quite frankly, walking back down there towards the Silver Cup. And it does appear to be that. The other thing I wasn't quite sure about, where are they proposing therefore to actually add another access road between where the access road is at 43 and curve 42?
Yeah, across.
So they're right across that green.
Which is what me and the neighbours. I was rushing as I went through that, but that patch is, it's quite nicely maintained. I mean, it is mowed every weekend. At least you go up now. There's no leaves on it, and we do it instead of the council. A lot of people take, it's a tiny little short because it saves you about 20 seconds, but people just walk straight under the oak tree, straight across there. And if I'm out gardening there, you always get locals coming and having a little chat and a nap. So I think, I put in my letter that the one thing that I will, if this goes through, I will do everything I possibly can to make sure that we don't go across common land. And I think the neighbours feel that as well. They need to do the hard work.
If I could just say, we can't really keep addressing it's not your point. We can't really keep addressing the public speaker. I let Matt's question go, but we need to just discuss it with myself. In relation to the access way, which you're correct, the application does include a new driveway effectively across the common land. That we can discuss it here, but that is discussed by, I think it's the Community Services Committee.
That was going to be my next question. Who has the authority to authorise a construction across common land?
Yeah, it is. It's the Community Services Committee.
And they would have the authority with that?
Yes, it's for them. So we need to just be mindful in our recommendations to, if you like, not tread on their toes.
Thank you. You clarified, but I just wanted to understand that because quite clearly someone would need to authorise that.
I just think it seems like it's a significant overdevelopment of the site, not least in that I think it's quite clear that there'll be lots of amenity to Lime Cottage, which I think is 43A possibly. And I think that you could do something on that initial site, but there's not much more land on that site that you could build on without it being an overdevelopment, I wouldn't think. They also haven't replaced the tree, and it's quite a significant tree, and I always pull up on the trees. I'm also not sure that there's enough parking, is there, for the number of bedrooms that's being proposed? I look for guidance on...
Yeah, they've only provided 3 parking spots, and they've got quite a few bedrooms.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
no. So I just think there's a sort of a number of elements where I think we could bring it up, and I don't think that that there's any particular sort of reason that we would need a house of that size to sort of balance out the negatives that would be inflicted on sort of neighbouring properties and the wider sort of parking and community. So,
It is in conservation area, yeah. It is one of the older houses along there, I think.
Sorry?
It is one of the older houses. in
Yes,
that
the
one.
local listed building.
Oh, is that?
That's what I've got down here. The years it's been built.
Oh, okay. And then what is the significance of that then?
Local listed building means that it's slightly more protected than just an ordinary building, so.
So knocking it down, would that be contrary to the local listing?
Yeah, I mean, I'll double check on that. It showed up on, when I brought it up on the St Albans District website, it came up as locally listed. I'll double check it.
I mean, I'm guessing it could be, I don't know,
Mm.
it could be because the entire road
Yeah,
is locally listed,
yeah.
Yeah.
I suspect, rather than, I mean, I don't actually think the house itself is a thing of great beauty, assuming I was looking at the right one. It's all white, isn't it?
Mm. I'll have a look. I'll double check it.
But yeah,
Could I also make a comment on the tree?
Observation.
Comment on the tree. I think that one of the main trees that's threatened is an elm. I would hate to see an elm removed for no good reason. There are a few enough of them left in the country. I don't know if that's a relevant point or not, but
Yep,
from a
okay.
tree preservation point of view, I think to remove an elm without very good reason is particularly distressing.
okay. So, the officer recommendation here is to consider refusal because of the tree, which it sounds as though people are in agreement with. But then, judging by the mood of the meeting, I think we want to add some other reasons for refusal, because obviously if we just mention the tree and then they sort out problems with the tree, then that's, yeah.
Agreed.
So, overdevelopment of the site,
yeah.
Not enough parking spaces?
parking, overdevelopment of the site,
There's a definite loss of amenity to 43.
loss of amenity to the, so overdevelopment of the site, lack parking, loss of amenity, yeah. Is there something specifically about the height as well? It just seems to be slightly more inconsistent.
The height is disproportionate.
Out of keeping with the street scene.
Out of
Something
keeping
on
with the street scene, yeah.
There's something in the neighbourhood plan on that, but it escapes me which point it is
Well, it affects
specifically.
the character of the conservation.
Yeah, absolutely does, yeah. I mean, I thought of it, I thought, you know, if this had been an application for one new house,
Yeah.
which was built in a sympathetic way using reclaimed stone, so it still fitted the character of the street, then I think, you know, maybe you could justify it. But two huge houses, and it is very visible to a very characterful area of the town. You know, very original, down the original road. Any other points?
I think that's pretty much everything.
So we're happy to recommend refusal for, well, basically just the parking, the trees, the height, the density, effect on the street scene, everything we just said basically.
Do we leave in the note about the proposed access, or is that just for this council?
I think we should just leave the proposed access because we don't want to, what's the word, compromise, I can't, it's not quite the right word, compromise the opposition because it is the other committee and they need to take an unbiased decision on that effectively.
Can I ask a technical question about that? Because I've never seen one of these waivers come up before, so obviously I've learned now that the community committee will decide on it.
Yes.
But in terms of timing and process, sounds like you guys are going to decide to refuse, and we've got the reasons. Could this end up at St Albans planning before the community committee see it? What's the process which the community committee get drawn towards this access issue?
I'm not sure that's the process, I mean,
Yeah, no, it's a good point, but I'm not sure.
no, that's something we have to check on, I'm afraid.
Is it quite unusual to permit?
I mean, they could get the permission for this, but it would make no difference as to whether the council decides to go ahead and grant, the permission for the actual popping over the waivers. Whether they get permission or not, it's down to the council at the end of the day to make that choice.
So we don't know which one comes first,
No.
whether it's the community services look at it, or the planning committee.
Yeah.
And linked to that again, the process. What is the process by which the developer is contacts that we know, because we're not going to reference it. I understand why I think that's reasonable. How can we, you can see objections lodged, and you can see, refusal. How do you find out that they have? You're saying at the moment they haven't applied for this waiver, so the committee doesn't even have it on its forthcoming business.
I think they've approached the council, as far as I'm aware, but I don't know, we'd have to speak to the clerk. But that's as far as it goes. I don't know too much about what the community services committee are doing.
Yeah, I got a message from the town clerk. This matter is for the community services committee. Basically.
But the fact he said that means he's aware. He's aware.
Absolutely,
Okay. Right.
absolutely.
Fine.
Okay, so are we happy to vote to refuse on the basis we just discussed? Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 abstention. Yeah. Okay.
I'll leave you in peace.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the...
All right. Okay, so let's go back now to the start, page 9. So reference 5/19/2196. 33 Stewart Road. No comment required by the committee. Certificate of lawfulness. Everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
5/19/3222, 26 Dalkeith Road. Okay, so no one to look at this. Part single, part 2-storey side extension, partial garage conversion, loft conversion. 26 Dalkeith Road. Officer observation. The application appears to meet the policies of the Harbour Neighbourhood Plan. Consider no objection.
Right, okay, so this is going from a 4 to a 5-bedroom property. The garage is to be turned into a store and utility. There's sufficient parking on the drive, as it's going to be a drive-in, drive-out driveway. 2-storey side extension, no impact on neighbouring property number 28. And applied to potential problem with it.
Detached.
Yes,
Yeah.
detached property.
They've gone right up to the boundary.
Yeah, they've gone to boundary. But it's
Is that back?
that's
I
the back.
presume so, yeah.
That's the front. And there's before and after. But they've allowed 3 parking spaces, and you can see the drive-in, drive-out.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it's fairly similar, looks like stuff that's been done on that site, not on that site, on that road in terms of plots and things.
So have they gone, is that right up to the fence? I mean, it looks like from that drawing, but maybe that's just where the drawing
Right,
comes. I thought you had to be a metre away.
You do the second story, you don't do the first story.
No, it's the first story, so this one here, they're showing that there is some
A little,
difference.
yeah.
They are big down that road.
Okay, fine.
So just to keep it.
Everyone feeling content to, okay, so no objection then, vote no objection.
Yep. And
Okay, so reference 5193045, 19 Sefnel's Way, officer observation of application does not meet the criteria. Everyone happy? 5193202. Okay, pot single, pot 2-storey side extension, loft extension with replacement rear dormer window, insertion of 7 roof lights, and alterations to openings at 3 Bloomfield Road.
A lot of roof.
Yeah, office observation application appears to meet policies of the neighbourhood plan, consider no objection. Shall we have a little look at it?
Yeah.
Could I just confirm, because there's some history there, what is specifically, what are the major things that are different? Is it the number of roof lights?
Plotting for so history.
Part single, part 2-storey. Start change the roof.
smaller Velux windows in the kitchen rather than the lantern roof as previously proposed. Previously permitted with 4 bedrooms, therefore St Albans may well permit again.
So would you think, did they have this work done? Because this was from 2016, wasn't it, the history? Or do you think they didn't have it done and they've now revised the plans?
I think... Right, okay, so I think they had it done. It says the side extension is going to extend to the whole width of the building rather than being pulled in as previously permitted. So whether they didn't have it done, sorry, whether they didn't have it done,
Maybe that's
and they've
okay.
altered the plan somewhat.
It's not retrospective, is it? They've done something.
No.
They can't have had it done because they wouldn't. They're
No,
always doing the
they've
same
made
thing again.
modifications.
I agree, it's odd to be 4
Yeah,
years
yeah.
before you do it when you're just making small changes.
To see what all these roof lights
Oh,
are.
okay.
I'm trying to work out where you would put 7 roof lights.
There's 3 there.
In the roof, or
Thank you for that illuminating comment.
I was just trying to say that if it wasn't very different, it was permitted before, it's easier to quickly accept it too.
So that's where they've got the roof lights. They've got
yeah, okay, they've got some on the ground.
Juliet Bank.
Yeah.
Some in the roof, yeah. Because the loft.
yeah.
I mean, I guess that's quite useful picture.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Oh, that's the roof. Oh. Right, so this was the previously approved one, which you can compare.
The heating in the room.
How
So
far
those
away?
all- sorry.
Sorry, how far away at the back is the nearest property? There's quite a lot of glass at the back. Just to make sure that...
Some Bloomfield Road, it's looking over the place that's going to be developed, so it's a field, I think.
It's a field,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
It, well,
Depends
it
which
depends
side
which
it's
side
on,
it's on,
which
yeah.
side it is.
But there look to be fairly long gardens, yeah.
Fair enough. In
Yeah.
that case, well, I have
It
no
is a
problem
power
with
field,
that.
so that is, yeah.
I'm happy with it.
I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone happy?
Yeah.
I think I've managed to fold those ones up this time.
So, 5193210 to Mayfield Close, raising and alteration of the roof, to crown roof from, I'm having trouble reading. Okay, so, officer observation application appears to meet the policies of the Health and Neighbourhood Plan, consider no objection. So, raising and alteration of roof.
Right. So, what they've done, increase in the chimney height, which is to comply with the building regs to give clearance to the dormer window. I've got no change in roof height.
Where's Mayfield Close?
Can happen in
Right, there was a side dormer put on. I didn't see a problem with it on the store. It really hasn't really made any difference except for they've changed. They put the dormer there and they've made the chimney higher because of the dormer, otherwise the fumes would be going in, and that's why the building regs gone on.
Was there any change to number of bedrooms as well, habitable accommodation?
Question.
And if there were, was there any parking options? Great.
And then, yeah, they put one in the roof, so that makes it 4 to 5.
Parking lot.
There won't be a lot of difference with the parking between 4 and 5.
That's that.
There.
Okay.
I always check these things.
So is there a side window now that there wasn't before, or?
So there's the chimney.
Okay.
The door.
Any views? I could really think if there wasn't a side window before, now there is, I suppose, depends where it's looking over, because it's a bit close to, I guess, the neighbour, but
No objections?
no
Right.
objections.
I mean,
Yeah.
it looks like it looks out anyway, onto the chimney.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay. Thinking everyone's happy with the
Yeah.
officer recommendation, no objection?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. 5193111, 40 the Uplands. Replacement dwelling with basement, double garage and alterations to vehicle access. Office observation, the application appears to be the policies of the neighbourhood plan, considered no objection.
The house there, 40 Uplands is there.
I mean, obviously it's a street that is well used to having houses knocked down
Yeah.
and new ones put up.
Big plots for
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
Uplands is.
down by down bottom western.
Yeah. Big room with big houses.
And that's
Is that current or proposed?
That's proposed. Right, so I said, larger footprint than the original dwelling. The basement, it's got a basement, ground, first and second floors. I couldn't see a detrimental impact on neighbouring properties. I thought perhaps it might be a little too large for the street thing, but it fitted onto the plot okay.
Big is
It's got chimney.
Some trees are to be removed, but it appears that they are sufficiently replaced along the border of the property and ground protection is put in for other trees.
It isn't.
But I just think it looks, because of the size of 38, I think it just unfortunately looks a bit big.
Is it too much?
I've been given everything else on that road.
The Uplands is, yeah, exactly, not shy for having a
As I say,
Yeah,
it's not social
substantial
accommodation, is it?
Let's say it's not affordable housing.
I mean, for me, if it's got the appropriate distances to the left and the
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
I agree.
it seems quite deep, but if the garden is large enough,
Maybe a small palace, it's fine.
You're looking for a house, mate.
Well, you know, Possibly slightly out of my budget range, I would think.
You might just rattle around inside it.
Is there,
I
mean,
could put
looking
it
at
in the
that,
garage.
is there anything about height? I don't know.
It ends up being just 2 stories. So you presume most of the other 2 stories then were similar height. It just looks grand with these pillars, doesn't it? Which is taller than possibly it
I
actually
just,
is.
when you look at this, yeah, I mean, I think.
But that side window, is that a window?
This is a picture of the front elevation, which I guess that is a garage at the front, which is perhaps a little different than the uplands, where they're not normally
I mean,
in front, but
they're making good use of the size of the plot, with the amount of stuff they're putting, particularly at the back, because there's terraces and things going in here.
yeah.
But I think it's one of those rare cases where they're using almost all of the plot and yet it doesn't feel like an overdevelopment, just because of the fact that it's being built quite sympathetically, I think. Well,
Southwest side windows, are they going to be going over into next door? Quite large windows. Maybe contained.
I presume they're on the stairwell, I assume, are they?
Southwest side elevation.
I presume they're on the stairwell.
I suppose the question is it so deep as to mean that those windows are going to be looking right over next door's patio?
the basement in the garden.
Yeah, it does look like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What's the house next door? Would they?
I don't know whether those ones have been developed. Those ones down there. There's somebody on this
This is, so southwest is here. Right. So it actually isn't looking over that one.
No.
The one that's this side, it's not there. It's the other way.
Yes, the basement I think is under the whole house and then extends.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I guess maybe is it coming up, as in, so like if you've got,
Yeah.
whereas most basements, they don't have any outside light, you can actually get out to your garden from your
Yeah.
basement,
Looks like it.
Yeah.
which would be quite nice. Okay, are we happy to go with?
Can I just check the parking is, because it only appears to have 2 spaces.
It
and
has.
I don't know how many bedrooms it's got.
It has 2 secure parking spaces in the form of the garage.
Yeah.
With additional space on the drive if further parking was required. There is also sufficient space within the proposed driveway for cars to manoeuvre and exit the site in a forward gear. I don't know if that was a condition, so it don't even need to engage reverse or
Yeah.
a description.
There's enough
I would imagine
There's enough parking.
it would be in the interest of whoever's building it, I would say, to make sure there's enough parking for the fairly high number of cars per household on the uplands. So, everyone happy with the officer observation of no objection?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, 5, still on page 10, 519 3183, 4 Oakview Close, single-storey side and rear extension, partial garage conversion, loft conversion with 3 rear dormer windows, etc. This application does not meet the criteria required by the committee. So that is it's single-storey, I guess. Everyone happy?
Yeah.
519 3165, The Croft, 4 Longcroft Avenue. No, not required. No, the application does not meet the criteria required for consideration by the committee. Happy?
Yes.
519 3214, certificate of lawfulness. No comment required by the committee.
Could I just ask on that, not about this specific one, just about the process again. If no comment is required by the committee, Why do we see it on this? It should be just a list at the back or something.
Because it just comes out in this format.
It's just the form, oh, I see,
This
it's simply the format, okay,
application
I see. Right, so we're not putting there as if we might ever take an action, because we actually can't, okay.
It's on the list.
Yeah,
But I think-
we're not being asked to judge if it should be required by the committee.
But I think
That's fine.
if we say, for example, a couple of objections have come in about it, or we, I think
Some-
we could.
yes, if something has
could.
come up, yeah,
Yeah.
from the outside, okay, thank you.
Or even if I think if one of us thought that we should discuss it, we can
Yeah.
discuss it, but, yeah. 519-3236, this application does not meet the criteria required for consideration by the committee. Yeah.
Yeah.
519-3247, Half and East, 7 Chesterton Avenue, 2-storey side extensions, etc. Consider no objection is the officer suggestion.
Right, okay, this one has got, I made a list, so the street scene has got varied house styles in it, the no effect on the neighbouring properties, parking has got 3 off-road parking spaces, although there is the loss of the garage. Trees, no change. The first floor rear extension is small and allows for bedroom 3 to be put in the place where the bathroom was originally. So it's down from the 3 to 4 bedroom because it's got 3 parking spaces proposed on the frontage. They are going to lose the green area on the frontage, but they are putting in parking. That's why I have no problem with it. Seems to meet everything really good.
Anyone have a look? Are we happy with that description?
I think so.
I'm happy.
Okay. So, no objection. 5/20 0011, very recent. Part single, part 2-storey side extension, 13 Stewart Road, office object observation, consider no objection.
Right, this one, they had an approved plan which they've made changes to. The changes are, there's an increase to the size of the ground floor addition from 4.3 to 6.5 metres. They've altered the shape of the first floor rear extension and added a first floor side extension, although they've dropped the ridge line to make the side extension more subservient to the main house. They've had pre-app advice from St Albans, basically saying the general size of the extension should be smaller to avoid domination and lessen the impact on the street scene. So I think I didn't have a problem with it. Parking was sufficient. Seemed to me to be a good design, not too large for the plot, no trees to be removed. Would you like to have a look?
Well, you just, sounds okay, well, you just pass it round
Yep.
quickly and then...
Right, so this is the previous application. I tend to pin them together so they don't
Yeah,
get
fine.
lost. And then this is the...
Happy?
Yeah, conservation area and locally listed building.
Okay,
Yeah.
shall I suggest no objection, everyone is happy?
Agree.
Or agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. (519-3207) 2 Hanover Grange, does not meet the criteria to be required by consideration by the committee. Agreed. 519-3208. Is that, I don't know if that's an exact duplication, is it? No. But anyway, same address, not required, no comment required by the committee.
Yeah.
519-3225, Half of the North, two-storey rear extension, office observation where you can read it, but consider no objection.
If I might, we had a concern in 2017 about the on-site parking provision. Are we content that it's okay in this version of it?
Well, I've heard that they haven't made any changes, so I presume, because it was permitted,
Yeah.
17 was before the neighbourhood plan as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we can have another go at it on that if we're
yes,
not happy with it, because we can put it in the name of the plan.
Yeah.
18 Vale Close.
It looks there, it's got,
Yeah, it's got quite a substantial frontage.
but I didn't see any other changes in the plan. I went through it.
Well, there's not.
I could see.
There doesn't look to be too much mentioned. The way that the way that these are drawn, to me, doesn't show anything about planning at all. About parking at all. So we can either express concern about the parking because we can't see it, or we can get it up on the screen, I guess, and have a look.
I wouldn't mind having a look. I think
Yeah.
it comes back to this thing we've said before, that we don't want people to just ignore the plan.
Yeah.
Like whether they do it with trees or parking, and we've got a parking thing there, and I think we should have a view. As you say, it doesn't show anything. I'm trying to see
So
that.
18 Vale Close.
Because it's coming out as, so it's 4 bedrooms. That's previous applications 4.
Right. There's only room, if that's 18, that's
Oh,
eight, there's room
yes,
for,
it is, there you go.
there's room for 1 car.
There is in the front room.
Yes.
What's the on-street parking like?
Okay, so existing is 3 bedrooms and proposed is 4, which isn't a surprise, it's a 2-storey extension. So we're going up by a bedroom, so that takes up to 3 cars?
2.5, isn't it? So 3.
3 cars, okay.
There's only room for 3 cars altogether.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't seem to have a lot of park.
Yeah.
Have a look.
And there's a lot
We've
of
had something else on this street recently.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
and depending on what time of day, I bet at night there's a lot more cars parked
They've
on the
got two in
curb.
a garage there, obviously, haven't they?
I mean, you would think you could get 2 on the front.
You might just get...
I mean, you get 2 probably just by using the bush, I guess. wouldn't you?
You'd have to lose, yes.
Yeah.
But don't we have to, even if we think they could get 2 in there, they should have 3, we should force them to put that in their plan, not just say we could, because I bet what they'll say, well, we're not, because we can park outside. And,
Yeah.
I think we should express concern on the parking.
The thing about parking up on the road like that is people can't push prams
Yeah,
down.
push prams
I
down,
hate it,
yeah.
I'm with you, Pip, I hate that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Wheelchairs or anything.
I presume they've got to park up there, because otherwise they block the road.
Yeah.
And I think
The road isn't wide enough.
we should not be encouraging that.
I agree with that.
Well, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, unless I've misread the things, it doesn't mention. It doesn't show parking spaces there. So, do we want to refuse on the basis of parking or express concern?
Have we refused on just the basis of parking in the park?
Yeah. One of the ones we were going to, the first one we were going to discuss tonight. The officer recommendation was parking, wasn't it? I think.
There's a number
I think we have to be
we
consistent.
I think we have to be consistent, and I'm certainly, well, I think with all of you, but I say specifically Pip, we have got all sorts of issues here. We've got a street that's not got much parking provision on it, it's crowded, as we've said. We've got evidence that people regularly park off the road because there's not enough parking. And these people haven't even bothered, by the developers, to even recognise it as an issue.
Yeah.
Well, they might not have reckoned, hoping that nobody will talk about it.
Exactly.
And you probably could as well get a second space in there if you got rid of that bush and replant it somewhere else.
If they want to take the problem on and consider it, and maybe Porsche gets willing to do it, but I think we should make them do it if they want to make an improvement which will enhance the value of the property and the things that they want from it. I think we should make them do that.
Okay, so then 18 Vale Close, then we're saying that we will refuse on, but we're going to vote to refuse on the basis of lack of parking provision.
Yeah.
All in favour?
We should obviously quote the
Relevant
plan.
policy.
Yeah, because otherwise someone will say what to change.
Yeah. In the neighbourhood. Okay. 5200019, 11 Park Rise. This application does not meet the criteria required for the committee. Agreed?
Yeah.
5193144. Constructing 2 dwellings. Okay.
Is this those ones out of you trying towards the roof one?
You would drive that towards the Rugby Club, yeah. I think it's those 3 plots throughout the town.
Where it's currently boarded up.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Constructed 2 detached dwellings.
So it's not actually permission for the construction of the dwellings because they've already got permission. It's basically for moving the dwellings forward on the plots 2 and 3, moving them forward on their plots.
We had one last
They keep
meeting.
moving them.
Last meeting, one of them we had, didn't we?
Yeah.
We discussed.
The third one.
Was it the other one we discussed moving it forward?
So they're just adjusting.
I suppose they're making more garden and less.
Yeah.
What are they doing with the new access? Because it says in the proposal that new access into plot 2.
I think that's all part of it. I think they've
Oh, is it
already
just
done the new access. So this is all part of just adjusting it, basically. So still getting them in place.
I mean, there's
Sorry, I was going to ask, how far are they moving them roughly? Are we talking they're moving them 1 metre or 10 metres?
With new access into a former South Home. Okay.
those 2 back over the golf course bathroom.
Yes. Does that show the new access?
It's quite a busy road and you've got the junction just there.
Yeah.
How close is it to the bend in the road? I'm trying to think.
It's right on,
It's on that bend, isn't it?
Yeah. And then you've got that Oakhurst Avenue, which has got 2 sort of entrances. So you've then got 2 entrances, and then you're going to have
Free
and then you've got the drive down to the golf course.
Yeah, I just think if it's trivial move, it's like why they've got it's irritating. If it's not trivial move, they're trying to slip something in where they got it in, and now they prefer for whatever reason to make it tragic. So we don't know.
No, I think that they're not shifting.
Right, so the route was previously given an application blah blah for an additional vehicular and pedestrian access from Redbourne Lane to serve the original house, and this would now serve as the entrance to plot 2. Regarding parking, plot 2 would have a detached double garage of a size to conform to the requirements of the Council Neighbourhood Plan. Plot 3 would have an integral double garage which would also comply with the Council Neighbourhood Plan. Subsequent to the approved application number 5/18/3306, the proposed position of the dwellings on the plot 2 and 3 has changed in that they have been moved forward on the plot.
Barney?
We're on tenterhooks.
It doesn't say. But general scale of proposed dwellings has already been approved in the previously approved application.
I mean, I know that's absurd. They've asked us to approve something, and either it's it's an immaterial move, in which case, why are we approving it? And if we are going to be asked to approve it, we've got to know what we're approving.
We got the previous
Well, if
somewhere
we
in here.
if
We got the previous
plan,
plan.
we might be able to work it out, I don't know.
I don't think those are different plans. I think they're both parts. I think.
We shouldn't be having to work too hard on it, is my point. They should
Yeah.
do the work. If they haven't provided for this and stuff, they should. Or is it like homework, you just say go back and do it again? You know, we're not going to comment. I'm being sort of serious, I know it's slightly flippant, but it's like, hold on, you come to this committee for approval of something we can't prove because you haven't given us information. I don't know, we're saying to Jarvis, which I believe is a rather large company, why don't you do it properly and come back?
It is absurd to say that it's been moved forward and then not say whether it's been moved forward as, you know, Paul says, you know, a metre, or has it been moved right up to the roadside? I don't know.
Well, it's new, okay, with new access
Yeah.
to plot 2. Can we see where plot 2 is? Is it obvious where plot 2 is?
Yeah.
on there?
So, I think by the new access, I think that's actually what was proposed before. I think it's just that they're not saying it's a new access from what was proposed, it's just that it's a new access in the general scheme of the fact that the access does not presently exist. You get what I mean?
Well, I mean,
We need a drop
in
curve.
some ways, access off the roads and things, that's when it comes to the final decision, it's Hertfordshire Highway. And then I've never known the subjects about anything.
You need a drop curve with the speed.
It
that
seems
you'd
to
be
me they're obviously trying to put it between the trees. I hope they're not affecting the trees, but
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're not.
The red line is the protection.
I mean, it can move them forward, there is room to move them forward.
I mean, I think as long as they're sticking with just the 2 access ways off Redbourne Lane, that would be the main concern, would it, if that was changing?
Is there enough parking in the garages if they were, say, pushing it forward right the way in terms of taking away any sort of on-site parking? If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it does, because they moved this one. Are they moving them both? Did they say they're moving them both forward?
Plot 2 and 3.
2 and
Because if
3.
you're moving this one, which is plot 3 forward, you would definitely, you know, you can see that it's considerably smaller. I haven't got the scale. It's considerably smaller than the other one in terms of
Yeah.
area you can park in. Now, I don't know how, obviously it's a presumably reasonably large plot, but
Is it an integral garage?
one's integral and one isn't. That's not.
Plot 3 is an
Plot 3 is, yeah.
So that one's an integral
Oh,
garage.
so that's parking. That's what little B's mean, isn't it? That's
Plot 2
PC.
is a detached double parking.
I mean, it's quite high-end houses, aren't they? So I would expect a buyer, and therefore Jarvis, to be thinking that, yeah, look, someone's going to want to park 2-3 cars
Yeah.
without having to put it in the garage.
Well, you can't park
There's
it on that road.
definitely no on-road parking.
No question, you can't park it there.
Well, I've got a gate and everything, so they are going to have room if we have to move around that gate. It's actually
Well, ultimately, we've got to recommend on what we see here.
Yeah.
My instinct is to go with no objection, because I'm not. If we express concern, I'm not exactly sure what we're expressing concern about.
Yeah.
I agree, but there's something nagging away at me is how can they be allowed to ask for permission for something that we don't know what actually they're asking permission for. We're surmising, and I think correctly, that it actually isn't going to make much difference.
Yeah.
I think there are some built-in safeguards on the basis that it's quite a busy road.
Yeah.
And again, if you're selling the house, you would think you'd want to be a certain way back, and you're going to want to provide parking.
And the plots are big enough that you would.
Yeah.
And potential buyers for a property like that are going to want sufficient parking.
Yeah.
You're going to severely undermine the value of the house if you don't do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
Developers don't.
5193144 then, are we agreed? No objection.
Yeah.
5193159, 18 Dalecroft Way, does not appear to meet the criteria required for consideration by committee. Agreed?
Yeah.
Happy?
Mhm.
5193232, 16 Cranbourne Drive. Consider express concern with regard to lack of sufficient parking provision, clauses 4041 of the district plan. Single.
It's right, it's right, I walk up it or drive up it to get to Bewdley Close, which is where I live. Yeah, I know where this is. There are quite a number of other properties of the same ilk along that particular stretch of road who have done already exactly this and converted the garage. Already done. Yeah, they look like that, and they're already done. So they've already been converted, so it's not inconsistent with the rest of the street. So a lot of people use the garages on that particular road. I suspect, and this is the exact one, the even next door neighbour might have it already done.
You want to look?
What's
or
parking?
If we have a look now, parking is the point I was going to make. You can certainly get 2 cars in front of it, certainly where other properties have been done. You can certainly get 2 on, if it's what I imagine it to be, you can see it. Having said that whole side of one side of the road always has something doing exactly what we said we don't like, which is parking over the curb. But it's already there, and it's right the way along that road. It's right the way along, it's no tail along there at night.
I mean,
The road.
Long.
Very long gardens, aren't they?
yeah.
You're right to be concerned about the parking, which was everybody got.
I mean, it's difficult to reject one and then have something similar and not be consistent.
If you look along the road, you'd be able to see what I mean. There are others who've already had a similar conversion. Well, there's one actually already in process further on.
Well, I mean, the officer's recommendation is to express concern. So, do you want to look at it further? Do you want to express concern?
I think if we can have a look, just
have a look.
see.
I've no problem with expressing, because as I said, that road is stuffed with parking, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But alternately,
What is a narrow drop?
that's what the whole got.
16 Cranbourne Drive.
We've got cricket nest.
I know.
So when we
It's
express
so long.
concern, we're saying
one inch, but I tried.
to St Albans District Council, make sure you particularly look at this thing. And when we refuse, we're saying to St Albans District Council, we object to this, you need to think further, you need to give us a really good reason why it should be built.
Yeah.
You like them?
Yeah, it appears to have a blue garage door, so I think it's probably that one.
Yeah.
They've changed the front door, if it is, but it looks like it's the right.
It looks as though, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depends on these pictures.
So what is it going from? Part single, part 2-storey rear, single-storey front extension.
They have now got a second.
Garage conversion.
They've now got a second space next to that where that hedge is. At the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah. And that's what they've done, a lot of them. They've
Yeah.
converted that to just a complete front drive, to drive.
Can we have a look up and down
Yeah,
that
if you go up and
road,
down
see whether
the
anyone else
street,
has got the garage
This
conversion?
picture looks a bit older to me. Just
Yeah, I'd say it's.
These are different types.
Yeah, no, great.
No,
Go back down.
back down.
Just this little row, isn't it? I just wondered if anyone else has got the garage
And
conversion.
further down. I
So
think
that's
this.
what you're talking about, the twos.
Yeah, there's a 2.
There.
There's a 2.
How many parking spaces in there for
No figures there.
There's a 2.5 to 3.
They've got, the garage, they've putting a study stroke 4th bedroom.
Sorry,
It's a bedroom. It's a bedroom. It's a bedroom. Let's be honest.
Well, I don't know whether you'd have I mean, it might not be a bedroom, because you'd have it relatively, the ground floor bedroom, isn't it?
What I'd say it probably is it's probably a study to the existing owner, but would be a bedroom if you
Let's sell it as a
selling the
4-bedroom
property.
house when
Yeah.
the estate agent said.
In the same way that I have a 2-bedroom flat where you couldn't physically fit a bed in the second bedroom. I don't think.
So, I guess what I suppose, it's,
Yeah.
it's got 2 parking spaces for a 3-bed house, hasn't it?
No, thank
You
you.
were saying then.
3.5.
You've got to have cost, Tom.
It depends if you're going to count the study as a bedroom, like, or whether the study comes with a bedroom.
If they put slash bedroom on it, we need to treat it
It
as
is a bedroom, I agree with that.
Because,
But then you could argue if they put study on it, which they have, they should treat it as a study.
yeah, I agree. And
Well, in
that's
some ways,
all we've discussed in the whole process.
The recommendation is to express concern, which
Yeah.
you could argue is reasonable, because if they've got in that scenario, if they've got 2 spaces, and I don't know, you imagine it's going to be, if I were living there, I wouldn't have it as a bedroom. It would feel a bit odd to have a bedroom there, but you could imagine that you would need to study if you've got kids growing up and they need somewhere to do their homework. But
They talk about an infinite section in this. Is that... yeah, so does it go across the whole front, or is it...
I presume that's what it means, like,
Yeah. Because if so, I would question whether they've even got a second space there.
Yeah, they're infilling a little bit, not fully across the front, but just a little bit.
A little bit across that one.
Yeah. So they're losing a bit.
I don't think it's coming forward in total from where it is now. You'd lose that little space because of that front window.
Okay, well, I'm going to propose that you can vote against it, but I'm going to propose that we express concern.
Yeah,
Okay. 519-3243. This application does not meet the criteria required for consideration by the committee. Everyone is happy. 519-3256. 76 Crabtree Lane. This application appears not to meet the policies of the Department of Labour Plan. Appears to meet them. We could not meet. Okay, so consider no objection. Single-story rear pot, single pot, 2-story side extension.
Yep.
Front porch cannot be alteration. So okay.
Right.
Essentially,
This is an increase of 3 to 4 bedrooms for a house on a large plot. Sufficient on-site parking, lots of the garage, but no impact on the parking side of things, no impact on neighbouring properties. 2-story side extension is absolutely fine as far as I could see, and I felt it was an improvement to the appearance of the property.
happy to go with the officer.
Yeah.
No objection. 520-0048. 2 Tyler's. Okay.
Oh, I thought that one.
That's why we're giggling. I think we might have seen this before.
Okay, proposal incorporates a small infill. Okay, consider refusal.
Yes, well, okay, so the change to the previous application is basically a little infill on this side here, where originally it finished there, and they infilled this bit here. Okay. Now previously, I believe we had a problem with the land at the side. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't find out ownership of it.
Yeah.
Still don't know. But St Albans District Council permitted it. Okay. They gave permission for the application to go through.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it has come back again with this additional little bit here.
The one that you showed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, they're asking permission for that.
Yeah.
But we still have an issue with
The land.
the land
Mm.
bit because we, I'm recommending that we go with the same issue because it has been answered.
But you can apply for planning permission, can't you,
You
on
can.
anyone's land?
Yes, you can.
But
So I
it's,
didn't
it's the
think-
change of use rather than
Okay.
permission. So if it was land that was already residential,
yeah, okay.
that they were applying for.
So what are we saying, is it like effectively amenity land, it's
Yeah.
public?
So if I
Open
recall,
space.
correctly, it was that if we could get it up on
Sorry.
the screen, it was that sort of it was a twofold thing of the fact that it was amenity land, but also that there was something to do with the way it affected the street scene.
Yes.
Right, okay.
I remember this, I'm starting to remember it more and more.
If I just keep doing this, I think that might help.
It was on the corner as well. wasn't it?
Yes.
This one here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, you weren't sure who owned that strip there.
Yeah.
There's somebody knows it.
Outside that wall. But yeah, because it also it's that the way it runs down onto Aldwichbury was the concern we had as well.
Yeah.
So you're saying that anybody can put in a planning application for a piece of land,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then if you then build that land, you're on that land that's not yours, that's trespass, isn't it?
Well, it would be.
Yeah, or effectively the owner of the land,
Oh, it's theft.
the owner of the land would have to,
We'd have
I
to
don't know,
agree to
take
sell
some
it.
sort of civil proceedings or, yeah. But,
It would depend who owned it as well, because if it was a council, then it would be different proceeding to if you were just built in someone's garden and
yeah.
they returned from holiday to find a
You
house
can apply
there.
for permission, that doesn't mean you can actually do it until you own the land.
Yeah.
But if you granted planning permission, doesn't that in some way indicate that you
I
accept
don't
their
think it
ownership
does,
of the land?
no.
No, definitely not. Because people apply for permission on land that's not theirs, all the time. Like housing developers
Yeah.
would just go to farmers fields like for 100 houses or something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, in that case, they figure that the farmer will probably be quite amenable to it. But so ultimately, what they want to do a side extension on the end there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anything in our position has changed in the fact that it's still a problem for all the reasons it was a problem last time.
I mean, highways have commented on it.
Oh, yeah.
And they have said the area of amenity land proposed to be incorporated into the confines of the property is not part of the highway maintainable at public expense. Furthermore, the levels of remaining vehicle-to-vehicle visibility at the junction of Tyler's and Aldwichbury Crescent would be acceptable and in accordance with roads in Hertfordshire. HCC has no objection to further comment from public grounds.
Well, if it's not publicly maintainable, that implies it does actually belong to that property then, on the side, doesn't it? Presumably someone has it, if it's not publicly maintainable, I don't see council can claim it.
It could belong to district. They just say it doesn't belong to highways.
They're giving permission.
They give it permission.
I mean, it's not. I mean, no disrespect to those houses, they're not like massive things of beauty. They're not so characterful that we want to preserve them.
No.
So in some ways, if someone wants to do a side extension,
I think there is a difference. I agree with you about the brickwork, the structure,
yeah,
with the others. But as it happens to be the end house,
Yeah.
there is something about that street scene that in a really sort of not very, suburban area, to have that grass at the end, that bit, I know they control the bit there, and have that just offset.
Yeah, yeah.
It's nicer than
yeah,
the houses further down which got cars parked on them, but very early on we saw that common land. I know it's not as nice as that common land, but it's kind of a nice little bit of
yeah. No,
privacy.
agree.
When I'd say that the benefit is not being outweighed by that, by some community amenity that's coming out of it that would have offset it. So, I mean, I'm very much with Matt that unless we looked at it now and said we were wrong last time,
Yeah.
Why would we say, I think it was pretty much the same people, why would we say, well, that's all right now? I mean, I think
So
we know it's a Dorset
street scene. Is it street scene then?
Well, we said adverse effect on the street scene. That was our
Yeah.
objection, which I think it is. I think that's a nice, that's quite
Yeah.
nice.
I mean, it's obviously
nice.
it's uniform, isn't it, at the moment?
Yes.
It also affects, it's that all the way down Old Victory Crescent. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's nicer than just going straight into a wall and all the rest of it. And then we also said local character and heritage. I think it's possibly a little bit braver.
You're looking through.
There's a character.
I mean, it's sort of like an overdevelopment of the site, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
You might say.
Yeah.
It's all uniformed, and it's a green open space at the end, and you're losing that.
Did I see a window in the infill?
With
the extra bit.
there.
No, in the bit that they're building at the back.
That's it.
Did I? I don't recall one being. Yeah. Don't actually having looked again. No,
I mean, this is a proposed.
Just wonder, but into the garden of the one next to it. I don't think it starts until. Yeah, that's true.
Well, I mean, I mean, if I look at that, I don't think it's totally horrendous. You know, it's totally horrendous.
No.
I would be slightly more comfortable with express concern, but if the committee feel, express concern around the street scene, the overdevelopment,
Other than
rather
potentially,
than views, but I'm happy to get you. Go on, Matt.
other than potentially the ownership of the land being removed, I can't see how we can say anything less than what we said last time, given that the property that's being built is actually getting bigger than what was proposed. I just think, given that we said before in this committee about consistency with decisions that we've made, we decided last time that it was a problem and that we should recommend refusal on that basis. If we mellow on that for something that's actually a bigger version, then that's the stuff other people coming back with and hoping they catch us on a slightly milder day.
I mean, realistically, if SADC permitted it before, they're going to permit it again.
Yeah.
So in the end, this is going to happen. But I do think it's important, and I agree with you, Matt, I do think it's important to say, we said this, we didn't like it, and we've had another look at it, because everyone can be wrong.
Yeah.
We've had another look at it, and we haven't changed our mind. So it's still a refusal.
Okay, so 520-0042, then we're going with the officer recommendation of refusal on the basis of, well, effectively what we said before.
Agreed.
Agreed?
Yeah.
Okay, 520-0053, 21 Langdale Avenue. A lot of officer observations. So, let's have a look. Part single, part two-storey side and rear extension following demolition of existing detached garage and conservatory.
Right, okay. Insufficient parking. Issue. Right, two-storey extension. According to the boundary. Obviously had a big issue with it. It seems to be The majority, when you actually build an extension, you're supposed to leave the main house larger than the extension.
Yeah.
It seems to be the other way around.
That's it.
So, in some ways then your house becomes the extension in a way.
It's not an extension then, is it?
That's a crafty colour.
The langnails, they're not, they're crowded down.
Do you want to have a look at it on the screen as well? Can we have a look at the screen as well?
Medium-sized houses.
Oh my, yes, they...
You see what I'm saying?
that is a second house they built on the back of that.
So
Maybe that's lamp.
These are,
Ah.
if you look at these are little extensions that presumably will move in over time, but
Yeah, that's the original
Langdale
house.
Avenue, yeah.
absurd.
There's a big garden there though. It goes all the way back to that train line.
And these two are put, I mean, that's a big patio, isn't it, as well as
Well, there
extension.
is
This
right
one
at the back.
here, I can't really...
21, yeah.
Yeah,
That is that one.
can't zoom in a lot, because if I go that way,
No, it's fine, obviously.
It strikes me there's not a great deal of parking.
no.
Not at all. I bet.
One space, is there?
There's a garage at the back.
But they're knocking down the garage, aren't they? Yeah.
There's no sort of proper fixed boundary between that and next door. is there?
No, there isn't.
So they're knocking down the garage and they've got, I would say, maybe 1.5 parking spaces. 2 if we're being generous.
They put,
There's two, because there's right in front of the house, isn't there? And then there's one there.
Yeah.
I assume that.
they put the space on the drive between cars, and I just put debatable.
That's very good. We'd have to move their bin, which is,
I think they could do that.
my point being is they clearly never, I mean, I don't think they would just put the bins out, they
Yeah.
never.
No, that's what they have to do, aren't they?
But also, that's one of the things that we as a community get back on this, is if you decide to extend over a garage that in fact you practically never use, we can say, you've lost a parking space.
Yeah.
And the same way as the game playing is, well, this is a study and it becomes a fourth bedroom, we can say, actually, it doesn't matter that you didn't ever use it in the past, that was, we were considering you would, and now you're not ever going to be able to.
Do you think we could have just a look up and down the road? Because obviously the ones to the right there, they look for a level of uniformity and character. But I can see to the left,
But it'll be at the back
Yeah.
though, it's not really going to affect the street scene too much, is it, this?
There's nothing on the other side, is there?
No.
Back of the garden.
It's a lovely street.
Okay.
I think the street scene isn't a problem.
No.
I agree.
Mainly it's going back, is that
Yes,
right?
it's good, it's at the
It's
back.
essentially doubling the size of the house.
Is there anything around? Is it wrap around, or is it coming further forward than the garage there?
I think it's going across that gap.
What's the gap in between the two houses?
Almost
Uh,
nothing.
Have they left that gap, or are they filling that gap in?
Oh, right.
The only thing I'd say is it's going to be a bit difficult for the next door neighbour to argue about the gap, because they've actually extended
They've
out.
gone right to the...
Yeah.
They've actually already extended out on that
Yeah, right.
gap.
It's a very long garden, you're right.
It is. It's massive.
So-
Partly why I don't actually think I've got any problem with the stuff at the back.
Can we have a look at it? Can we have the top-down view? How do we get that?
At the side, I think, by the way, it's going to about where level with where the
You can
car
see it
is.
there.
Oh yeah, sorry, you see it there, yeah.
That's the part of that part, isn't it, at the back? That's the,
Part of Swan Walk, I mean, back of Swan Walk.
where you go from,
Yeah.
from, what's the
Yeah, because
red
of the-
cat?
yeah.
Red cat? And then
Yeah,
you
there's
walk along that
Swan
line. Yeah.
Walk on there, yeah.
So is the side extension, is it just single story? That's probably a key question, because
That's
you've got the
a very
risk
good
of
question.
terracing, haven't you?
Yes.
You do.
We'll get out of there.
If it's a single story, I think
It's a single story
Difficult
side
to
extension.
object to.
Part single, part two-story side. And
Yeah, so
Where
I'd
is
say
the
it's
grass?
probably single and then...
We'll have to look at
But whether the
plan,
extension is two-story, is that what we're saying?
The red
It's a
block is not
extension.
terrace property, and the red and white stripe
Yeah,
is
so-
going to be.
Well,
That's
That's the original.
it doesn't look with the extension back, much bigger than the
Some of these
properties. Yeah.
A lot of them have been extended here. I mean, this, if you look at these two particularly, they've had sort of double, some sort of extension there, and then their patio
Yeah.
goes all the way out to there. Right, they've chosen to put some different.
But if, I think we should look. I think we should go up on the computer and have a look. Because if you look at this, because it's double height.
Yeah.
I mean, when I looked at that street, that looked to be quite a lot of character and
Yeah.
uniformity, and this is going to make those two look like almost like joined up.
Yeah.
Effectively, I guess, terracing, even though the terracing is maybe not at the front, but it's like at the
Yeah.
back. I guess that would be
Because
my concern. But if we go further up the road,
you'd
and
be
cover up
able
if they
to
do
see
anything.
from the road, you'd be able to see that back extension.
Yeah, exactly.
At the front.
Yeah.
So that's that gap there. Ground floor.
Yeah. The ground floor bit, there's no problem with.
Yeah. Okay.
How many bedrooms are in the new property? At least 3. I'd assume probably more. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, we've got the officer recommendation to express concern with regard to the size and scale of the development. And I'm not quite sure what the terminology is, but if everyone did that, then it's going to look like a street of one long terraced housing rather than
I'm actually
detached. But
I'm not that concerned about the size and scale. I think the issue is the street scene and the parking. Because even though it is effectively doubling the size of the house, I think the plot can take it, and I think actually it's not without, I don't know if it's without precedent, but it's not without sort of other examples on that street of hefty properties.
I mean, I suppose they could extend that without having that.
the wraparound at the back, yeah.
I'm free. I think that's it. There is enough room to extend. I don't think, in terms of its actual final footprint, it's much different from some of the others, but it is a problem down that side.
Yeah.
And if we make a comment, then they just need to they can redesign that and put that square footage and just put it on the back. I'm not an architect, so I know it's going to be more complicated than that, but you know, that can be done, surely.
Yeah. And you would retain the garage in that scenario as well.
So I think maybe we
Or
express
could
concern
retain
around
it.
the street
They
scene
won't put a street
and the
scene.
terracing effects from the wraparound first floor extension, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
You take away that light as you look down.
And the parking.
And then the
Okay.
parking. Yeah.
I don't think they do have parking restrictions along that road, do they? They do on the next one.
Okay, yes, you mean.
So I assume people incrementally move out, the more the parking
Yeah.
restrictions come in.
Yeah.
So it will eventually, I assume.
Okay,
Yep.
are we happy to express concern?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we've got some chunky observations tonight. 520/0058, 25 Connaught Road. Adding a first floor to existing bungalow with gable ends and accommodation in loft space. 2-storey side extension with new entrance door, demolition of existing rear conservatory, alteration to opening.
We've seen this one before as well, haven't we?
Yeah, you'll understand this one. That's funny.
It's a funny little
That's
bungalow.
two bungalows.
This is my street. I don't know these people, so I don't have to declare any interest. It's the bottom of my
Yeah.
street, so I do know it
And
is
what
on.
is set back off the road?
Yeah.
And it's where we've always thought that if they applied at the same time, so there'd be uniformity.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're right.
Did we approve last time? Did we approve the other half of it? And I say other half.
I know what you mean, yeah.
I mean, conjoined one next to it. Because I thought we approved something last time on the street.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So there was the big development at the top it's a circular road, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of objections to that. And we objected to that, and then that one on the corner with the two corners.
Yeah. Is there a way to get up the comments that have been made by us on number 27, Connell, previously? Just because I'm sure that it came to us last time, and it would be helpful to remember what we said about the neighbour.
Yeah, the first time it came, we didn't like it up route, and then something came back.
The neighbour came.
The neighbour came back, and I was thinking we might even have agreed with it.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Because, if the neighbour's got permission to do something similar, then it would seem...
We have much choice, but
Yeah. I mean, there's still problems with the one at the back, but it...
Except the one at the back,
Yeah.
because Cornwall Road's getting involved, which is behind it.
Yeah.
It isn't the classic, we were talking about one bungalow, 1 bit above it, and one versus the other, and then in the end, it kind of set like that. It's actually the property there, that it goes over to.
Yeah.
I mean, the officer observation is to express concern,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
I think in some ways we get to hedge our bets. We're not saying definitely not.
Yeah. I mean, it's bizarre, because in the end, bizarrely, these two bungalows don't fit the street scene. They look odd,
Yeah.
and they're clearly ripe for development and all sorts of. They're not high quality properties or anything else.
No.
But if they could just coordinate it
Yeah.
and just do it really simply, then everyone would just get on. It makes a lot of sense. But yeah, so that's why I think express concern is right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Agree
so
with that.
effectively, yeah, we'll agree with the officer recommendation.
Yeah.
Everyone happy? Okay, we're going to make a bit of progress now. 520-0064, 5 Chesterton Avenue. This application does not meet the criteria. Agreed? 520-0065, Groundhog Day. 5 Chesterton Avenue. No comment required by the committee this time. 519-3178, 13 Otterton Close. This application does not meet criteria by the committee. Agreed?
Yeah.
519-3228, 1 Wood End Hill. No application, the application is not required. Our comment. Agreed?
Yeah.
Yep. Very happy.
520-0022, 25 Brackendale Grove, no comment required by the committee. Agreed. 520-0050, this application does not meet the criteria required by consideration by us. Agreed.
Yeah.
520-0054 of Northbury Ox Lane. This application appears to meet the policies of Holton Neighbourhood Plan. New pitched roof. Yeah. Go on, you can comment. Yeah.
Right, okay, so this is on a good sized site, no trees on site, no impact on neighbouring properties, various designs on the street scene, sufficient parking even with the loss of the garage, and improvements to the overall aspect of the house, in my opinion.
Any effects on the parking with the garage? Sorry, I think you said
Plenty
that, but
parking.
Yeah.
I was reading and trying to listen, and I wasn't quite sure if I
Is
heard it correctly.
this right at the top end of
I think
Oxford,
it
so near the mini roundabout and close to the railway line?
Yeah.
There is a big sort of open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few that's at the top there, quite set back.
Yeah, I think it's one of those.
And there's certainly no uniformity in the street scene.
Okay, so 3 Ox Lane then, consider no objection. Agreed? 520-0068, Mott's Cottage, 9 Ox Lane. What's going on in Ox Lane?
Big week for Oxley.
Officer observation, the proposal appears to be in keeping with policies, etc. However, it only offers 2 parking spaces to be increased to 4-bedroom property.
They're still offering only 2 parking spaces, so I just had a problem with it in that respect.
Express concern, it's obviously a fairly sustainable location in the sense you can walk to the schools, you can walk to the town, you can walk to the shops.
Yeah.
Yeah. We expressed concern last time on the same basis.
Okay,
Yes. Again.
so policy express concern regarding sufficient parking, policy supported.
That's what we've done.
Okay, so we've done this one. The next one, 42 West Common Way. Sorry, West Common. 519-3039, 21 Piggott's Hill Lane. Office observation, no comment required. Agreed.
Yeah.
519-3152, 23 Hartwell Gardens. No comment required by the committee. Agreed. 519-3206, demolition of existing conservatory, single story, side and top, etc. Officer observation of proposal appears to conform to the policies of the Harpenden Neighbourhood Plan. Consider no objection.
This one's got a balcony again.
Oh,
This is the Juliet balcony.
When are we going to have a Romeo balcony in the spirit of equality?
I refer you to Mr. W. Shakespeare on Stratford upon Avon.
Conservatory. So the conservatory is going single story side and part single plot, 2-story rear extension, side infill,
Right. Yeah.
swimming pool, associated landscape, new vehicle crossover, Park Avenue.
Yeah. The garage is going to be changed to a gym and connected to the house by a boot room. It's going to have a small 2-story rear extension. The rest are single-story extensions. Some trees are going to be removed, but permission has already been granted. And
trees.
yeah, for the trees. That's what
By whom? Sorry.
by St Albans District Council in the previous permission.
Have they approved it, but have they required the replanting, or they just approved the removal of trees?
Sorry?
Sorry, have the district council approved the removal of the trees without replanting?
Probably, I'm not sure, I don't know.
That's not very
When
good,
it
is
comes
it?
under
That,
the...
whether that might have been before, I can't remember.
It's 218.
Yeah,
So it would have been.
before,
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
So,
all right.
Aren't women label things, don't they?
There's a balcony on the rear elevation, but there's enough room
They
for
were
it.
complaining.
And it's, no, it's a huge...
yeah, I'd say Park Avenue is, you've got some hefty sites up there.
Huge.
Okay, so are we expressing concern trees, refusing trees?
I think express concern.
I think so.
The
Can't
trees
just
have already got permission, so...
As in independently of the planning application.
Well, I suppose they had permission for the planning application that took place in
They haven't
2018. But if this is a new planning
It
application
is.
under the Harpenden Neighbourhood Plan,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, we
if they wanted to cut them down, I argue they'd have to work with their 2018
Yeah.
permission, I guess.
Yeah, if you wanted to buy something 2 years ago, and then you decided not to, then 2 years later you want to buy it and VAT had gone on. You couldn't say, well, I wanted to buy it 2 years ago. Things have changed.
Yeah.
I think, and particularly, Park Avenue is very large, as we know, and it has got. I don't think we should. They've got the room. They've got the room to put the trees in.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Without preventing the habitation. I don't think it's the same trade-off as it might be for some other people. So I think we should have it in there.
Well, in that way, I guess it should be refused really, to be consistent then, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Due to non-compliance with the
with the
local plan
HMP
213.
trees. And we as a committee have certainly refused things previously for all planting.
So,
It's also called
Yeah.
Apple Tree House.
Yeah.
so basically we're refusing, well, we'll put it to the vote, but refusing on the basis of, the lack of tree replacement at 2-to-1 basis.
Yeah, under the plan.
Agreed?
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it's a very easy thing. If our logic is correct, then it's an easy thing to rectify, and if it isn't,
Yeah.
we've done what we can, haven't we?
Okay.
520-0020, 19A Townsend Road, office observation. The proposal appears to conform to the policies. Consider no objection. Single. Okay. This is the last one I think we'll be discussing.
Right. No trees or hedges to be removed, no changes to parking arrangements, the garage is be retained, it's going from a 4 to a 5-bedroom property. There's various designs of properties in the road. Property needs updating and modernising, and it's got a 3-storey property on the opposite corner of the road, and as well as on neighbouring properties.
Which bit of Townsend Road is 1909?
It's right on the corner of Westwood Road.
Do you want to have a quick look?
I mean, it's conservation area, and you're referring to, is that because none of these things will be affected by the fact it's a conservation area? Do we?
We can mark it up as a conservation area, so we can have policies 85 in the comments as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll just make a note that it's a conservation area, and according to policies 85 of the Conservative District Plan.
Which roughly means it ought to be in keeping, sympathetic, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So any works that they do have to be in accordance with the conservation area.
Okay.
And that sort of thing.
Are we satisfied that the number of spaces would be acceptable with the new bedroom? I know 4 to 5 doesn't make much difference.
No, I was satisfied with that. I mean, if you look at the site there.
It's just that there's no on-road parking around there at all.
No.
So,
The garage is going to be retained.
yeah.
Is it just worth only a quick look at it? Only because it's an A, so it could already be an infill, and then I don't know, having not had a look at it physically.
Right, so that's proposed elevations, so that's site and lease.
It looks,
It's also quite well covered by trees. Having had a quick Google Maps of it.
looks reasonable. I know we're not saying the brickwork, but it looks.
Yeah, and I was a bit concerned about this third storey, bearing in mind other properties, but on the opposite corner, there's another property that's got a third storey as well.
Is this next door's house? I'm just wondering, is it because it's on a hill that it's such a big difference in height?
Yeah, it goes up.
There is a hill,
Yeah.
it's quite steep, so if it's down here, this is the... That must be 17, isn't it?
Have a look at it on the thing.
Everything in height and then right is out of the whole street.
Yeah.
Is it already 3 stories?
No, it's conversion of the lock. So,
Quite, I mean, massive fun, but it's quite significant, I guess.
Was it just deep, isn't it?
Well,
yeah.
it's right on the end here. It's this one here.
That one.
Yeah, and that's the one that's got the third storey higher.
Yeah.
That's this one here, so the parking's sufficient.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see it's already actually
It's already
fairly tall, isn't
dominating
it?
it.
Yeah.
It is high, isn't it?
It's higher,
That's significant.
but I think the layout,
I suppose it's just the plot here.
Yeah.
It's like turning slightly, isn't it? And
yeah.
And they're putting something on top of the garage, aren't they? They're bringing the garage in effect.
Something outside.
I did about this one, to be honest, because I wasn't sure.
Have they put an objection, the house next to it?
I haven't seen an objection.
Is that the one across the road? Yeah.
yeah, you go walk
Is
up
that- can you
and to
see
the left
that
of
one?
it. Yeah.
I'm looking.
There.
Opposite.
Yeah, so if you go up Wordsworth Road,
And then turn
Turn
left
left.
here, you mean, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's Woman's Crossing.
Road.
Bit more, isn't it? This one.
Yeah, so flip back now.
They're far, aren't they? It's kind of on its own, isn't it, apart from that one, but it's set back, that other one, it's interesting, that the one that we were concerned about.
Yeah.
It's
It's
actually
actually- yeah,
set back,
you're
so
right.
that going higher, and it's against the wall that has no light. I don't
Yeah.
think it makes that big a difference to
No, I was thinking of that one. What's that?
I don't know, is
the
it,
left.
Yeah,
It's just the loft conversion, so they're not, the ultimate height of the roof is not going up, is that right?
It'll go up a little bit, I think. But not substantially. Probably a couple of feet.
That one, when you're concerned
Oh,
about
that one.
there,
Yeah.
the red brick is higher,
Yeah.
Okay.
considerably higher because of the hill. And that one, which is offset, so I think, and
3 or 4 feet.
Well, I would have thought so. That's just the line there has got the existing height, so
Oh, right.
going up a reasonable amount.
It's a bit
half story.
peculiar
Yeah.
shape, isn't it?
Yeah. But all it's doing is there's going to be where that garage is that you can sort of vaguely see to the side of it, is going to be a roof on top of that connects it to the house. I don't think it would actually make a huge difference.
I mean,
Because I don't
I'm
think
just
they can see
thinking in terms of it being in the conservation area.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder whether we should express concern over the height, just to feel as though we're just drawing attention to the planners.
I mean, I don't actually know whether the height affects, other than maybe the street scene on Wordsworth, but it's hardly, it's got a wall in front of it, so it's hardly a street scene.
We're probably not looking at it as nicest, but if you're further down in front of it, I mean, we already noticed that the house in question was quite a lot taller than the one on the right or on its left.
What's it like, if you go down towards the bottom of Townsend, what's it like looking up the street? In terms of, would it start to dominate?
That way.
Right,
That is right.
yeah. Yeah, right.
Then look back to
Turn
me.
Yeah. So it wouldn't because of the tree line, I don't think.
We see there is going to be another.
That would dominate.
Yeah, I think that actually.
I mean, we're only expressing concern.
Yeah, I
aren't we?
just
It's
express
not-
concern about the effect.
Yeah, there is, I think increasingly, I think there is a street scene thing.
Yeah.
And that's a bit, it looks like one of those
It's a
ferries, cut ten, but it look top heavy but aren't. You know what I mean? Those ones, they're ugly, the modern ferries, aren't they?
Yeah.
Container ships,
What? So is it express concern about the street scene due to the raised ridge height?
yeah.
Because it's where it is on top of the hill as well. If it was
Exaggerated by the hill.
Yeah. If it was at the bottom of the hill and you were looking down on it, you would
Probably
think
all
much
right.
of it.
Yeah.
It's the other way around.
Aesthetic extension, is it?
No.
No. Slightly dominating for a.
It'd be quite.
Or something
Yeah,
which
that's a
is
very
open
big
conservation
sort of wall. You
The
look at
poet's
anyway,
area,
it's
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I can't hear that.
Okay, are we happy then to express concern? Well, just what we just said basically. Express
Yeah.
concern due to street scene ridge height. Okay. Oh, everyone agreed? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5200072 20 Gilpin Green. This application does not meet the criteria required for consideration by the committee. Agreed. 5200089 14 Crabtree Lane. This application does not meet the criteria required for consideration by the committee. Agreed. Okay. So, agenda item 8, prior notifications, page 19 to 24, you note those. Okay. Number 9, list of weekly insolvent district council decisions, 25 to 38, you note those. Applications to tree works, page 39 to 48, note those. And date of next meeting, planning committee will be the 18th of February 2020, and SADC Plan for North 24th of February 2020. So we note that, and then we close the meeting at 21:20.